Vivi has been crushing it this season so far, now 8 episodes in, and it has given us some intense cliffhangers. I suppose it had to make one mistake along the way, but Vivi set up everything I feel it needed to avoid this issue.
わかりました。約束です。いつかメインステージで歌います。
今後100年かけてあなたには僕と一緒に AI を滅ぼ
Want more anime content? Well, make sure to subscribe and join the 1% of my audience who take that extra step to help me out. So what's happened since we last talked about Vivi? After the Sunrise incident, Diva and Matsumoto have split the timeline, leading to the creation of the Metal Float, a completely AI-run factory working to advance all AI. This factory is run by one of the AI sisters, Grace. Grace becomes famous for being the first AI to ever marry a human, but in this new timeline is taken to run the Metal Float, leaving her husband home with a replicant of her. After realizing Grace can't be saved, Diva shuts down the entire island. This event leads to Grace's husband, Dr. Seiki, taking his own life. Diva, covered in both human and AI blood, malfunctions, realizing that she's failed her mission.
私の使命は歌でみんなを幸せにすること。
We come back to a completely normal Diva singing on the main stage and followed by adoring fans. She's invited to the Zodiac concert where she meets Ophelia, the youngest of the sisters. The so-called Fairy of the Small Theater is a crucial part of history as she is the first AI to commit suicide. Other AI have died, but that was only in service of protecting humans, but Ophelia's case will tell the public that AI have some sort of soul that makes them equal to humans. We spend the next 2 episodes learning that Diva simply doesn't remember any of her adventures with Matsumoto and is now just an idol mixed with the JoJo's reference. We also see flashbacks of Ophelia with her assistant AI Antonio. He's a grumpy old man who wants Ophelia to believe in herself and have more confidence on stage. Matsumoto forms a new partnership with Diva to protect Ophelia. After hearing her stories of Antonio, Diva thinks maybe Ophelia viewed him as part of her mission to make everyone happy, and now she doesn't know how to operate. Matsumoto follows Ophelia to the roof to talk with her and find out any way to help her. But, plot twist, it isn't Ophelia. The dead old man Antonio has taken over her body.
遅すぎる。なぜならオフィリアはもういない。私はアントニオだ。
Am I alone here thinking this is such a missed opportunity in an otherwise fantastic show? So here in a Nando v Movie style fix are my ideas on how this issue could be avoided. Diva should be the one to attempt suicide. Now hear me out. After splitting the timeline, we need to drop Matsumoto's infinite knowledge. We've been operating under the fact that he knows every possible option and every event that will happen to impact the future. Because of this, he's somewhat justified in his Machiavellian tactics of ignoring short-term sacrifices to secure long-term survival. Now, we operate under Matsumoto's calculations, which importantly, can be wrong. This gives us a newfound doubt in his methods. Secondly, Diva should lose her talent. We started with Diva having an amazing voice but no understanding of how to sing from her heart or what that even means. After holding Dr. Seiki and understanding the feelings and experience of being human and having something to put your heart into, when Diva malfunctions, she should lose her voice. This is a very important turning point. Our main character with all the talent but none of the understanding is forced to trade her talent for that understanding. Because of this, the newest sister Ophelia is given Diva's mission and goes on to the concert instead of Diva. Watching her performance should bring Diva to the realization that the other AI will never fully understand their missions the way she does, and that along with her own failed mission will lead Diva to suicide. That brings Matsumoto to calculate the paradox where if Diva dies now, then he will no longer have a vessel to return to the past. And we get to see Matsumoto, who has literally ripped Diva apart to force her into obeying his commands, now suddenly be forced to care about Diva and her well-being. So here is how I imagine this playing out. The Sunrise falls into the ocean, leading to the Metal Float. Matsumoto calculates that the constantly working and evolving float risks the same future dangers as the tower. He and Diva destroy the island and watch Dr. Seiki die. Looking down at the blood, Diva's mission shatters and she malfunctions just like in the show. We open next on Diva waking up in her room with a clear scan indicating no damage. She gets ready and walks onto stage to perform for a large crowd. She begins to sing with her heart, now understanding exactly how complicated people's emotions can be. She sounds off, but doesn't notice until her eyes open to a very confused crowd. Employees and stage techs rush her off the stage like that one Pikachu. Diva is undergoing maintenance with the engineer from earlier in the show. I suppose now he's even older. Diva asks him about his life and what makes him happy. Maybe he talks about how his daughter is getting married, and Diva understands his devotion to his family and how he considers the AI that he works on as part of that family. They don't find anything wrong with Diva, and the higher-ups decide to give Ophelia a chance. No longer even giving Diva the opportunity to fulfill her mission, as if she could do it anymore anyway. Matsumoto is no longer able to sleep for years at a time because he must constantly monitor the New World events. We head back to Diva's house and hear her sing for Matsumoto and her homebot. She begins to get mad, not hearing a difference in her singing, but Matsumoto coldly tells her that she sounds defective. Once arriving at the Zodiac concert to support Ophelia, Diva begins to show signs of a robot equivalent to depression. We should really lean into AIs feeling human emotions like Grace and Estella did. Matsumoto realizes that Diva may now view herself as a useless bot unable to complete her mission, and that her destruction would cause a paradox that he would never be able to return to save the future. Here, we introduce another world event that was not in the original timeline. Matsumoto now has to calculate it against Diva's well-being and decides that Diva takes priority. This needs to be one of the times that Matsumoto is wrong. Saving Diva is mandatory, but this new event causes problems later that the show must solve. It's strange to me that Vivi actively set up a branching timeline, Diva's malfunction, and even mentioned Ophelia viewing Antonio's death as a failed mission, but then decided to just make Diva lose her memories. I'm pretty confident that the latter half of Vivi will continue to live up to the Sunrise or Metal Float episodes, as the show has been incredible and will most likely end up incredible by the end. But going from this and this to oh my god, look at me, I'm secretly evil Antonio, gave me some whiplash.
Thanks guys for watching this channel, The Dub Casual. I'm Derek Snow, voice actor. Be sure to check out more of that and Why I Love and 1AM anime videos. Have fun! Ooh.